Welcome back to another episode. This is number 12 with Yarn as a Second Language. I am Princeton, and that is Miss Nikki, everybody. Round of applause for Miss Nikki, everybody. Thanks for showing up.
Oh, sorry.
If you are new to the channel, like I said, I'm Princeton, that's Nikki, and this channel is all about yarn, crafting, knitting, crocheting, everything we can think of. So welcome. We welcome you with open arms. Yeah, so Nikki, you gotta
I'm raring to go.
Yes. So we are talking. Yes, oh my gosh. Yeah, we know. We know. So today we are talking about some of our favorite books that we enjoy flipping through, that we refer back to. Just whatever has helped us out. That's what we are talking about today. So we're just going to jump right into it. Nikki, you want to go first?
Yes.
It's all yours.
So when I started knitting, I took a class at Michael's and they sent you home and then you're on your own. But somewhere, I think on Ravelry, somebody had suggested a pattern book, and I had never heard of such a thing, didn't know anything about it, but I got the Barbara Walker. The first one I got was actually the second treasury of knitting patterns, and then, of course, I got the Treasury of Knitting Patterns by Barbara Walker. You can see I have notes, and they're dog-eared and well-loved, but I flip through these constantly. And if you don't know what it is basically a pattern book, and all kinds of, and they're divided up into categories: lace, seed stitch, cables, twisted stitch. Seed stitch is not technically a category, but it is just a treasury of collected knitting patterns, of collected techniques in one place. So I think there's 4 of them in total. One of them's a charted book. I think I've got that one. I don't do the charts so much, but I'm getting more into it. But these two, constant companions. There is a little bit of overlap between the 2 books, but not much. So it's just like hundreds of knitting patterns. So what I would do is I would get some sugar and cream yarn and make a dishcloth out of a pattern I had chosen out of one of these books to practice it. So that way at the end I had something usable and I had some pattern experience before I went, and jumped into a hat or a baby blanket or something more major. But I have had these probably about 10 years maybe, and I still go back to them over and over and over again. So if I had, I started big. I started out with a bang, because these are probably my favorite books for knitting, just of all time. Invaluable. So Barbara G. Walker. So
wow.
This is some research. And she's got little, if she knows where the pattern originated, she puts that in there, and other people contributed, and she attributes them, she put their names in, like contributed by blah blah blah. So it's just an interesting read. It's an invaluable resource, and I love them. So
well, that actually makes me feel a little bit better, because you are a very experienced knitter. I am very much a beginner crocheter. And if you're referring, but yeah, you can't say everybody has seen your work. I've read the comments. You are a very experienced knitter.
I'm an adventurous beginner.
If you're referring back to books, then I know as a beginner, I shouldn't have any complex about referring to
No, that's how you learn. You try some things out, and if it doesn't work out, rip it out, try it again, try something else.
or just be like me, just throw the whole thing away. So, well, I'll throw out a book real quick.
Okay.
So, I have an angle. So, like I said, I'm fairly new to crocheting. Whatever. So, I have a book about Granny Square love.
Oh.
And this is by Sarah London, and it is just chock full of granny squares. I mean, I know, so I learned crochet from my grandmother, and one of the first major projects she had me do was granny squares. And mainly because the stitches are usually fairly easy and pretty basic, and it grows quick, so you get that, oh look, I'm making something, it's so easy, you know. So this is something that I always enjoy going back to, and I mean, I guess it's got more than just granny squares. So
oh, those are pretty.
Yeah. So I always, when I'm looking for something new and I just want something quick, this is usually one of my go-to books. Never let me down.
That's like a crochet goal of mine, to learn how to do granny squares, because they are so cute, so recognizable, and so customizable through color and yarn choice and things like that.
Yep. So, yeah, I always go back to it. I love it.
Oh, my turn. Sorry. I was still thinking about granny squares. So the next book I have is actually a fairly recent edition, and this is one of my Dollar Tree finds. So it is The Hand Knitter's Yarn Guide, a visual reference to yarn and fibers. And it has, it's divided up into types of yarn. So it talks about wool and mohair. I'm sorry. It talks about Angora. It talks about fiber type, cashmere blends and wool. It tells you gauge and yardage choices recommended. So it's just about, we talk about the best fibers, starting with cotton and hemp and linen, rayon, and it just tells you all about the pluses and minuses of different yarn types. It goes somewhat into blends, but not a whole lot. We talk about synthetic fibers, polyester, acrylic, chenille, and it's just a resource. So this is where I learned that rayon was, what was that we were talking about the other day? No, modal was beech tree fibers. So this book here, and I know there are a lot of different sheep breed books and things like that, but this was just my introduction to a whole array of the fiber world, and I've learned so much from it. Just in general, you know, they tell you how these fibers are processed, how they're created, if there's, you know, minimal processing, or you just, you know, get it off the sheep, and then what do you do with it? So a very good resource book to learn about what fibers are good, what their strengths and weaknesses are, you know. So I enjoy flipping through books. This is going to be a common theme, but I do enjoy flipping through books. But I've learned a lot from this one. And Nikki Gabriel is the author, but I did just walk up on this in Dollar Tree one day, and I almost passed it up, and I was like, it's $1. So I've gotten, you know, way more than I paid out of the knowledge that I've invested in this. So it's a really cool book.
That is a book that I think I could really benefit from.
If I could find 100 of them, I would buy them and give them out. I've learned so much from this. So,
I am all the time asking Miss Nikki questions about wool, alpaca, whatever. And I mean, I guess I really don't need the book. I got you. But that is a really cool book, especially for $1 at Dollar Tree. Good find.
It was maybe a couple of years ago, but yeah.
Good find. That hand clap we gave you at the beginning, yeah, it was deserved. Good job. So I'll go to my next book. It kind of goes along with the Granny Square book. I like books with a lot of color, and this one's definitely got a lot of color. So this is 75 colorful hexagons to crochet.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I love hexagons. It's my favorite shape.
One thing that I learned from this book, so I learned to just, follow the directions. I never learned a diagram. And so this book has taught me how to follow a diagram and then refer to the directions.
So they have written directions and then the graphical representations. Yes. See, that confuses me.
It did me for a long time. But now I understand them.
That's so cool.
So, but yeah, this book is pretty cool. Like I said, it's just a bunch of hexagrams. And another reason why I really like this, I've mentioned before that I'm getting better with my color combinations. So a lot of times they'll just, tell you some colors that they did that, look good. And I won't have the exact color, but I can just deviate a little and I know it'll look good because, well, they've done it. So, yeah. Nice thing. And this is by Leonie Morgan. I believe you gave this to me.
I think so. Because, again, the illustrations intimidated me.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Poor Kay.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've talked about this before. Crochet is so geometric. It's so three-dimensional. And, you got front post and back post and blah, 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 and all this stuff. To me, knitting is very linear, I mean, it can be, there's strengths and weaknesses to each craft. But those diagrams don't make sense to me.
I see.
Because I just don't know where in space I'm supposed to be. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So get to making me some hexagons. I need them. I'll put them on my wall right here.
Hey, I'll do it.
And again, those are probably, they're very modular. It's a very small kind of, I guess it can be as big or as small as you want it. But it's very experimental. You can use different yarns, different, like you were talking about, different colors, different weights, different,
Yes, that's another thing. It gave me an opportunity to practice, everything with just making a small project. From different stitches, from changing colors to practicing making straight edges. I mean, it's a lot easier and more economical to learn on a, like you were talking about earlier, on a swatch, basically.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
And I have the tendency to just jump right in. I'm going to make a king-size comforter. So I've had to learn to tone it down, really get a groove and then branch out from there.
Those are cute. Again, I've got this empty space right here.
No problem. I got that now. I know how to do it now.
So I've got one more book, and I think people may have a clue what it is. It's a very recent edition.
If you guys have what video was that?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. But if you've seen our previous podcast, you know what book is coming up.
It's the textiles book.
Oh boy, here we go. I knew it'd make a comeback.
So this book is the Barbara Walker books were patterns. This is like the nitty and the gritty. Look, I mean, come on. Look at that. Can we see that? It's a microscope picture. Come on. So that apparently is a finish on a yarn. Fabric softeners is talking about things like that. So this is obviously a textbook for a textiles major or something that I found in a thrift shop. I think I paid $1 for it or something. But I really, really enjoy this. In my previous life, I was a scientist, a chemist, and this hits all my buttons. We talk about chemical composition, we talk about manufacturing techniques, we talk about before there's some photomicrographs in there, photomicrograph of mercerized cotton, Sorry, I'm excited. I keep bumping the camera. Look. So this is a book that I obviously have to take my time with. There is a lot of information in here and I'm looking, I'm like, ooh, look at this, spun bonded filament prep. So very technical book, but I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot about different textile manufacturing techniques, I think mainly for now. So the textile book.
Oh, you love that book.
I love this book. Oh, the authors Sarah J. Kadolf and Anna L. Langford, I believe. I have no idea when it was printed, but I'm not in textile school. I can take my time. So.
Well, I'm sure we'll be able to put the links or something in the description so people can find these books.
Print. That would be interesting to find out. Copyright 2002, but that doesn't mean it's not in, that doesn't mean it's still in print, but.
Nikki.
Distracted. Sorry. Sorry.
You love that book.
I do.
Well, I've got two more, but I'm going to show them at the same time. So for those of you that don't know, my grandmother, I think I mentioned just a minute ago, my grandmother taught me how to crochet. And about 20 years ago, I believe, she gave me, look at this. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So I'll start with this one. This is Crochet World, and it's like I guess it's a book, but it's more like a magazine, really.
Sure. Crochet World might still be in print.
This is from 1985. You were just a little girl. I have referred to this several times. Like here's one on Baby Boo.
Oh my goodness!
All the little patterns they usually have like a little story with them, and then it gives you the pattern. So one, I like flipping through this because it's from my grandma.
Look.
And two, look at the old school, like just the feel, the smell, it's just it's cool. Look at that.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Griffins to crochet. That's cool.
And then this one here is basically the same thing. This is Crochet World as well. But this one's from 1983. And look at that, the front.
Oh!
Yeah. So Nikki and I had done a sock challenge very recently. If you haven't seen that video, go ahead and check that out. This would have come in very handy. Yeah. So, yeah, it's just, look at that.
Such a sweet, oh. Well, Valentine's Day, here you go.
So this is these are, one, very useful, and two, they just have a very sentimental feel and value to me. So I wanted to share it all with you guys. Yeah.
But can you imagine, like, in the days before the internet and we had this mass sharing of information, how amazing that would be to get like new patterns and talking about your very niche craft in a, periodical.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
It's very cool. Yeah. And so I remember a long time ago, Grandma had told me that she got a pattern, not from these two magazines, but from another one. And she had created for all her grandchildren. My grandma has, at the time, she had like 17 grandchildren. She's got way more now. I think we're in the 40s or something. She crocheted this for all of her grandchildren, different ones, from the puppy dog pound or
pound puppies.
Yeah, so this one was mine, or is mine, that she gave me when I think I was about 4 years old.
Oh my goodness. Look at that.
Uh-huh. Isn't that amazing?
Super cool.
You got the pattern from from the Crochet World magazine.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I wanted to share that with everybody, but my grandma, I'm gonna have to get her on sometime. She is truly remarkable. She was a phenomenal crocheter. Her hands don't work like they used to now, so she's kind of giving it up, but she lives through me now.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's super cool. Aww. Little Princeton and his little pound puppy.
Little Princeton, yep. Yep. So I always felt like I had the most realistic one because she made dogs that were blue and orange. I was like, well, my dog could really look like that.
Exactly.
So
that's cool. Oh, go Grandma.
Grandma, that's right.
But it is pretty cool that we, Grandma had her Crochet World, and we're still referring back to books from Crochet World and on and older and beyond. We have truly digitized pattern books and things like that now. So the craft is evolving with the technology, and I think that's beautiful.
Yes. And my hat goes off to people who were learning how to do this without YouTube. They may have had their mother or a friend that knew how to, but if I don't know how to do a stitch, and I have a plethora of people showing me how to do it. I couldn't imagine following something like this and trying to figure it out
somewhere. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
So hats off to you guys. That's amazing. So, well, you got anything else you want to share?
Nope.
Okay. Well, we appreciate one day you're just going to read page by page, aren't you?
Page 1. Features of the book.
I did want to point out one more thing.
Yes.
And all of our OGs who watched us from the very beginning will understand this. But if you look over Nikki's left shoulder, you will see a picture of a very handsome young man. If you haven't noticed, that's been there for the past couple of videos.
I was wondering how long it would take you.
Yes. For those of you who don't know, one of our goals for this channel is to get Michael B. Jordan on our channel. And there he is behind Nikki's left shoulder.
It was going to go up up on the wall, but I said I wanted to see how long it was going to take you to notice him.
Yeah.
I was going to move him around, but he just happened to just stay right there. So now he can go up on the wall since you've seen him.
Well, I can't really take the credit. I had one of our wonderful viewers, you know who you are, point that out to me, and I was like, well, look at that. She got me. That's pretty good.
So my mom sent me that People magazine cover, and I said, let's prank Princeton. So it took you a little bit. It took you a while. So
yeah. So, all right. Well, if you stayed to the end, you definitely deserve that little nugget. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, though. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We really appreciate all the support you guys are giving us. Oh my, lower that book. Push that book down. There we go. We are growing. We are enjoying the process, and that's because of you guys. We can't thank you enough. But we are doing our best because we have several giveaways that we've been giving away. That won't stop. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of those giveaways. And it's easy to do too. Very easy to do. So yeah, I'll go ahead and sign us out, and
all right.
We will see you all at the next video.
Got some reading to do.
Oh my goodness. Bye everybody. Bye Nikki. See you guys.